Everybody get up, it's time to slam now.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, if you wanna jam.
Yo, bum rush the show. I come to bring the noise and raise the roof as I spit my poetic truth and fight the power. For these political powers are all about divide and conquer. So don't believe the hype when they say they want us to unite, for it's all lies. As media outlets will allow politicians to spread lies, portraying us as public enemy number one, when our true public enemy holds the badge and the gun, claiming to protect and serve. So no matter how you get down, 911 is a joke in your town, my town, in anyone's town when you're black or brown. That's why we gotta shut them down, shut them down. For they're in fear of a black planet. That's why they need a nation of millions to hold us back. And they want us to get the fuck out of Dodge. We strike back and we show them what we got. Let's play ball. So we have these senators in Washington that think they know what's best for all, acting as if they're giants in this world, never truly understanding the common man or woman. I mean, is this an expo of ignorance for they want us to sit back, allow them to control the narrative over gun control issues and women's rights? Well, that ain't right. Once again, these Yankees don't understand what it's like to be the common man or woman. We have those who blindly follow the red and the blue parties, never truly seeing the problems in this country. But it's all good. That's why I don't trust political snakes, especially Diamondbacks that may have been draft dodgers back in the day. Once again, these Yankees don't understand what it's like to be the common man or woman. We're not twins, so please don't think you can dictate what we should do. We're all just metropolitans lost in these city streets. That's why we need a mariner to navigate us through these streets as if they were the open seas, so we can avoid being stung by the devil rays and captured by vicious pirates who think we're marlins and have a nice catch. We have to be brave enough to embrace the elements, even climb the Rockies if necessary, for we are some of the most athletic. That's why they want to lace our Phillies so that we can't defy the astronomical odds of being forgotten. We're monarchs. We got royal blood in our system, comes from our ancestors. That's why they want to lock us in the cages like tigers and allow their cubs to run loose and set all the rules. They even allow birds to fly free, even if guilty, from Orioles, Cardinals, and Blue Jays. Then they think it's okay to steal the land from the Indians, then consider themselves nationals and become guardians of a land they stole. They wear Red Sox, White Sox, red stockings. It's all the same thing, as they send Rangers to round up me and my Padres for having too much fun at the parties, hanging with brewers. For these politicians act as if they're angels when they're nothing more than the devil in disguise. Let's play ball. I want to teach you about the great game of baseball. You know, play catch, see how tight your catcher's mitt fits. I want to see if you can handle a curve and a fastball as I grip your hips, help you with your batting stance. You can hold my bat, feel how solid the wood is as I explore your entire stadium from top to bottom. Make sure the grass is trimmed just right for whenever I slide in. Make sure your sprinkler system is working properly to wet the field when needed. Make sure your PA system is right to scream out the anthem or home run call as the bat and ball connect to your strike zone. I want to make sure you get these peanuts and leave those Cracker Jacks and only come back to me. I will always put a glove on in the field unless you want to play barehanded. I'm willing to make out in your dugout, having everything wet. I just want to see if we can have a day-night double hitter because they say chicks dig the long ball. I will let you guide me into home base, head first or head first. The call is yours. I will use my fingers to make at home plate to make sure the call is right. Hopefully the pitch is a slider so I can slip in. I'm not trying to be on a pitch count, hoping to pitch a complete game, not get pulled too early because an early call to the bench is never good. Keeping my stamina up, doing my best to control my pitch count so that I don't lose control early. Don't want you having to call in a pinch hitter to keep the game going. I want to experience the post-game fireworks when this game is over. So are you ready to play ball?
How dare you? How dare you choose her over me? This cunning vampire in the dark mood disorder whore. For those 5 plus or minus days a week when she whispers into your ear, when she DMs you, come and play with me, lover. When she spams you slut videos of her lower legs, sprinkles in her cleavage on a rainy day. How dare you go to her side? She is tricking you, bae, sex trafficking you, making you feel like a virgin, my darling, day after day, making you feel inept and lacking in bed. Flaccid, erectile dysfunction. She doesn't even want to soap your body in the shower, before or after. She leaves you dirty. She sure as fuck doesn't feed you. I am cooking all the time, nourishing you with my sweet and savory, quenching your thirst with rivulets, then the oceans of my body, reminding you to go to the store, to take care of yourself, feed yourself until I can get there. She lives behind your eye sockets, wet needle in arm, sucking the life from you, cackling with insertion of the white lightning, doesn't care how you're feeling or if she is destroying you. She is a selfish shadow of a woman, and baby, to be honest, you are an idiot to text her back. She will destroy you, kill you. She doesn't even know your name, your address, never heard the sounds you make while making love, the color of your sea glass eyes, the safety of your fingers on my thighs. She prefers to sit outside your room and laugh while you cry. She enjoys your anxiety, applauds when the corpse of your childhood crawls into town. Crawls when your dad's narcissism hangs like a fog above your forehead. Rejoices, rewards you with candy, makes your blood sugar spike, then laughs, slaps her knee, laughing. Warden of your own Shawshank, I'm worried you aren't Tim Robbins enough to escape. To come right down to it, she is the men in lab coats, machine with electrodes, burned gray matter between your ears, erased good memories and implanted paranoia, self-hatred, and shame. Hovers behind you like Patrick Swayze in Ghost, intertwining her fingers with yours, massaging a clay pot, which will never be real. Real murderer still at large in your mind apartment, waiting for you to close your eyes, to find a good pillow with which to smother you with. She takes her last breath into her mouth as if Zyklon B until experimentation is over and you are dead. And you cannot ever come to me again. Me, the one who wishes to protect you, to sip and suck and touch and trust, to smile and gaze into your eyes, to count your orgasms, bask in your skin. This fucking heinous bitch, depression cunt. I hate her for every time she wins.
A trio of young girls throw it back to a K-pop song. They have varying degrees of success. I keep scrolling. A fluffy white Highland cow wears a flower crown. I keep scrolling. A commercial for Ozempic. I keep scrolling. A white man with a buzz cut, shirt 2 sizes too small, intones gleefully, your body, my choice. I keep scrolling. Quickly. A little lamb, swaddled in a child's onesie, joyously stamps his feet, and a million separate souls have all hit the heart button. I join them. Then I keep scrolling. A woman with lips stretched painfully over too many cc's of filler demonstrates how to line your lips to make them look fuller, as if we are fooled, or simply foolish. I keep scrolling. A body bag, full of dolls, I think. But no, those aren't dolls. Those are children. Their skin gray, not only from death, but also from debris. And the video, it's looping endlessly, and I don't know what to do. So I just keep scrolling. A different trio dances to the same K-pop song. I keep scrolling. A lesbian with a wolf cut earnestly confesses the legal steps she is taking. She fears, she says, that her marriage will soon be invalidated, that the vow till death do us part apparently includes the death of democracy. I keep scrolling. An ICE officer falls down on some ice. The laughter at their expense is both vicious and deserved. I keep scrolling. A wannabe Politico stitches a video of a hot take, itself a stitched video of a hot take explaining in their stitch why the second stitch was only a lukewarm take. I keep scrolling. Multiple ICE agents surround a single man. They strike him repeatedly. Shots are fired and he falls to the ground, and a voice in the background breaks as it shouts, "You killed him." I keep scrolling. A kitten falls off of a window hammock, shakes it off, walks away like nothing happened. I keep scrolling. Another influencer. Another brand. Another influencer. Another brand. Another influencer. Another brand. I'm so tired. But when I close my eyes, all I can see is dead children and the unraveling of democracy and the violence and the apathy. So I just keep scrolling and hiding from reality. Another influencer. Another brand.
A mother whispers into her only son's ear and rubs the coffin. Aphrodisiac, a black woman in the bed wearing a bonnet. Caribbean home, parents insist on straight A's, no gay A's allowed. Classic black mom quote, "I brought you in this world and I will take you out." Cumulus, cirrus, stratus, nimbus, clouds sound like Harry Potter spells. Devotion candles light up the whole barbershop where Raheem got clipped. Do pedophile priests use holy water to wash off their penises? Dogs are man's best friend, except for in this one place, a civil rights march. Gentrification, when genies cannot afford to live in their lamps. How unfortunate when someone's fortune cookie contains no fortune. Hurricane travels across Atlantic Ocean, same route as slave ships. If C-3PO started smoking crack, would he pawn R2-D2? If you toss salad, the dressing evenly coats all ingredients. Like a bag of chips, when you open your paycheck, far less than you thought. My proctologist put single glove on right hand, like Michael Jackson. A flock of pigeons peck at discarded hot wings. Cannibalism.
13. That's the number of kids who die per day on average in schools-related shootings. Another 32 are left injured. After the shooting in Uvalde, lawmakers convened to pass legislation banning not guns, but backpacks. I guess they figure if students can carry the weight of America's shame, they can carry their books. After all, they're banning most of those too. See, this is what happens in a country afraid of its past. It erases history and then hinges on the belief that children are the future, so they school to prison pipeline or class to casket them before they learn the truth. See, I was told that the pen is mightier than the sword, but this poem, no matter how bomb it be, got nothing on an AK-47 wrapped in a constitution. I don't give a fuck about an amendment. Were the men meant to protect us? Were their treason like neckties? Where their votes go? Were the checks high? Putting profits over people, creating division. It didn't have to be like this. But I guess you spend less on the coffin, the smaller it is. Call it the American discount. We do everything to save a dollar and nothing to save a life. And I've been waiting on progress out of Congress, but I can't digest the inaction. It sits on my stomach, mixes with grief until I throw up these poems. Fuck that. Throw up these hands, because somebody has got to fight for them. It's more than sad poems. It's showing up, it's voting out the villains, showing up to the PTA meeting and the town hall. It is learning to lift someone without becoming a pallbearer first, and at the very least, it is the police entering the goddamn building. Mothers have been burying their children since Columbine. 360,000 students confronted by grief.
Members of the jury, let the record reflect that the accused spoke often of morality, invoking God, children, and family. We submit into evidence a government that speaks of family values with island sand still in their pockets. Let the record reflect that they stood at podiums and called others deviant, that they drafted laws about purity. We submit into evidence flight logs, sealed records, names on the manifest no one wants to say out loud. Your Honor, we submit hypocrisy in the first degree. We submit cruelty disguised as virtue. We submit power shielding power. We submit a government run by people who partied on Epstein's rape island. We call to the stand the voices of survivors, not as spectacle, not for the headlines, not for politics, but as evidence. The defendants would have them gagged rather than have the truth of their deviance exposed. Make no mistake, it is the accused's intentions to distract you so they may go home and tuck in their own children.
Avarice and ego conjured deceits from callous humans of distant lands, dining on caviar and opulence, playing golf from the spoils of chains and neck collars on a people weary from tobacco, cotton, and sugarcane plantations, too subdued to resist. Black and white history are interwoven, like the butterfly and its cocoon, for out of the untold suffering of my forefathers was born a resilient force which shaped my journey. We risked our lives fighting for the just cause of emancipation for centuries. The Maroons dug trenches and caves, fighting for the justice voice of Gave, Queen Nanny of the Maroons, and Toussaint Louverture to be heard. Mary Seacole pioneered the cause of nursing, risking her life, singing the songs of the spirit, doing the work of selfless love to Europeans on the battlefield of Crimea, receptive to the sweet music of sacrifice in her soul. Nat and Martin showed indomitable will and dauntless courage, marching for liberty from the yoke of tyranny and oppression. The sonorous melody of Marley's message rings out to men black and white, steering their wayfaring ships in all directions, lost souls seeking, striving to find a remedial balm for their fears and insecurities. Celebratory achievements of Mandela and Harriet Tubman resonates in our hearts like drum-like beacons, soothing our souls with the ability to achieve impossible dreams. Yet I can still hear the pangs of bigotry, inequality, and poverty spinning on the wheels of egos that segregate, on a gentrification that subtly separates us, making room for the elite to instill exclusion. Yet I can still hear the wailing songs of the oppressed, echoing in ghettos and centuries of painful trauma, singing the words of the great Negro spiritual, we shall overcome someday.
6 years. 6 years of other people's ceilings peeling like old promises. 6 years of winters crawling through cracked windows, breath visible in rooms with no heat, no hot water, just cold truth coughing from rusted pipes. Boarding houses where the walls knew my name but never held it gently, where I learned how to fold myself smaller than the full-size mattress they rented me by the week. And before that, I've been homeless. Not the kind you see in the headlines, but the quiet kind. The I'll just stay a few days kind. The I'm crashing on friends' couches until the springs memorize your spine kind. The folding blankets on hardwood floors at sunrise before anyone wakes up so you don't look like a bird. The kind of homeless where gratitude tastes like shame, but you swallow it anyway. My family's home recently burned down. Flames licking photographs, memories turning to smoke, the smell of everything I thought was permanent, proving me wrong. So when they said, damn, your whole life fit in a suitcase and a tote, I said yes. Because I've watched house turn to ash and I know how fast forever can disappear. Yes, my life fit in a suitcase and a tote because Ericka Badu told me to pack light. Pack light when the fire comes, when the couch isn't yours, when you survive, when survival is the only furniture that you can afford. Pack light, like trauma doesn't deserve a closet, like sorrow ain't worth the overweight fee, like dignity can be folded neatly between hope and underwear. I'm disabled, but never dismantled. I wore my smile like central heating, like insulation, like proof. And now I turn a key that belongs to me, my own apartment, my own heat humming steady, hot water rising in steam like an applause just for living. And no, I don't have a bed yet, but I don't mind. I have a floor that's mine, walls that are mine, silence that is mine, and I've slept on couches that folded me in half, floors that wasn't promised, and rooms that could be taken back with a single sentence. But this floor, this empty room, it feels like a throne because ownership is softer than any mattress. They thought my life was small because it fit into luggage, but what they didn't know is that I've been rebuilding from ashes, from borrowed spaces, from cold water, from smoke, so I packed light. But I carried resilience that could never be burned down.
Blow hard. Don't feel this sting. Wash it away, my love. Daddy didn't mean to leave you all alone for another woman. Push down this pain in your throat, my dear. Boys don't want you as their own, it's clear. Consolation prize. Use the liquid to make a timid smile. One which says, I'm fine, really, I'm fine. I said, I'm fine, I'm fucking fine. And even when the burn of bile is more than you can stand, when the chasms of divorce, rape, and bulimia spread their hairy arms, quell. Choke down and push down, quash what daddy did, pour the liquid over your face, let it trickle and soak your white t-shirt, pert nipples. Be their sister if they won't kiss you. Be the good daughter even if he's left you vacilando. But holy hell, be drunk. And don't feel a goddamn thing. Not even when this policeman is asking you to walk a thin white line and blow hard.
I got a joke for you. Are you ready? Okay. Your mom is so fat. No, see, this is where you say, how fat is she? Come on, you know how it goes. So let me see if I can get this right. Okay? Your mom is so fat, when she goes to the circus, she has to wear the tent. Now, see, that one feels personal, since I've been under my fair share of big tops. We've all seen it. The plus-size silhouette. As if we are swaddled in fabric. Use the whole roll. It will disguise that we have rolls. The designs all feel old, but that's all that is sold. There's only one or two mannequins in the store in my mold, and they're all churning out the same shitty cold shoulders. My fat ass doesn't want fast fashion, but I can't afford bespoke. It's fat fashion that's the real joke. But speaking of, let me try again. Your mom is so fat, she spells food desert as dessert. See, it's funny because it's a desert. A place without access to food, not just in quantity, but also quality, with almost 1 in 5 families in Canada dealing with food insecurity. The same year, almost 1 in 3 identified with obesity. That's a joke too, right? How can less access to food cause us to outgrow our box? Because it's not a joke. It's a paradox. With the cheapest food, a bunch of rot, ultra-processed, full of sugar, vegetables costing more, and who's got time to cook her? When women without a degree are 2.2 times more likely to be fat like me, there is a link between size and Western poverty. We need less preaching and more policy. But I guess it's easier just to make fun of me. Like, your mom is so fat, she went to the doctors with a broken wrist and they told her to walk it off. See, that's funny because it's true. Fat people are less likely to be screened for some cancers. And do you know what that leads to? The answer? Less fat people. We're more likely to die of them. 40% of treatment providers admitted to negative attitudes about people in higher weight bodies. They see us as non-compliant patients. They spend less time with us overall. They show us less patience. They tend to attribute every complaint to our weight, no matter how faint the correlation. Pain in your ovaries? Diet. Lump in your breast? Diet. Uncontrollable sneezing? Diet. And bless you. Now we've got time for one last joke, and I think it's the best one yet. Your mom is so fat she can't even die with dignity. See, studies show an increased prevalence in high weight young adults with suicide risk. It seems something is making us sad. I wonder what that could be. But the gag is we're less likely to be effective. Since another study says you're less likely to die by suicide if you also have obesity. And if we are successful, it's going to cost extra just to cremate us. Even in death, we are charged an indignity fee. So I guess it's a good thing your mom is so fat when she jumped off the roof, she bounced. Are you laughing yet?
I want a big bag of soap. I want a big bag of soap. I got some mouths to wash out. I want a big bag of soap for all types of skin. I want soap to wash out mouths that badmouth ballet. Timothy, just because you spell your name with 2 E's and an acute accent and women think you're a cute guy, that doesn't give you the right to put down the art form of dance. How dare you disrespect Alvin Ailey, Judith Jameson, and Misty Copeland? Oh, I want a big bag of soap. Soap to wash out dirty words. Not the words said by sailors who suffer from Tourette syndrome. Oh, I'm talking about the words that are racial slurs, N-words, hurled at Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo. Oh, I want some lies soap because they lied about the disrespect. They intentionally wanted to detract from the success of the film Sinners. Oh, I want a big bag of soap. I got some mouths to wash up. I need some orange dial soap because there's a lot of powerful people in Washington who require antibacterial cleansing. I want a big bag of soap. I got some mouths to wash out. I want soap for white supremacist mouths. And I'm going to use African black soap just to be ironic. I want some Ivory 99% pure white soap for all skin folk who ain't kinfolk and love to be in proximity to whiteness. I want to be petty. I want a big bag of soap. I got some mouths to wash out. I can't wait to wash out some transphobic mouths. It will be so just hilarious. I will wash out the mouth of every guy who says, pause. After I say, I want to stick this bar in your mouth. Dove. Pause. Irish Spring, pause. Camay, pause. Yardley, pause. Oil of Olay, pause. I don't even know why I'm saying pause, just like I don't know why others are saying pause. But without any further delay, I want a big bag of soap. I got some mouths to wash out.
It's crazy how I never noticed how many people shared the same name as you before we met. I hate the way my body seizes and my heart pounds till it pops the stitches I placed when I see the C at the start of a name. My greatest love and deepest betrayal, time for me has stopped and new attempts at love have failed. And I cry because I will probably never know love again. You're not forgiven. For 3 times I gave you too much of I and let you spread my skin on the bed for you to roll around in with your new bitch-like sheets. I write about you still because I am angry, because I am disappointed. And when I see your name, it floods back like a wound that never closes. And how could I ever love another man when my body aches like this? It's as if I'm sick with disease and only your smile, your laugh, the twinkle in your eyes and the frown when you're mad. Only you could ease the sickness. but you're the facilitator of this illness. You're the reason I second guess my judgment and retrace my steps. Why I pinch the skin around my waist and frown in the mirror when I pass, because standing there staring would take all day comparing my body to theirs. I'm so quick to leave because no one's allowed to hurt me like you did. I hesitate when they want to get deep because they might use it against me like you did. I shatter in silence and am rebuilt by attention, but I question my self-worth daily because you didn't claim me. So I hide my hope and never fall for maybes. And I'm okay until I see your name. How many bodies do you have? That's always a question they ask when they're intimidated by my presence. I've dug more graves than fingers and toes on my frame. And yours. And maybe his too. I've lost count of the jokes I told the men just to get them to undress and drop their pants. Maybe 5 have touched me in places that felt kind. Maybe 3 have proposed to me with a ring and a glass of wine. Maybe 1 gave me children and thought that would make me stay, but I wonder if the rest would have wanted to trade places with him had they been given a chance. Half the bodies I caught were out of lust, not some great need to be seen. In fact, I hope some of them bodies never crawl from out of their graves, for my time spent with them was brief and much more than a mistake. That lust monster knows no limit, has no boundaries, revels in sin. So if those people turn to zombies, I'll have to snuff them out with, "It wasn't good," and "My bad, homies." Double tap, make sure they don't spill the dirty facts. So don't ask me how many bodies I have. The right question is, would I let them come back?
Today it began to thunder, and I did not relish in the petrichor. Instead, I was petrified of retaliation, bombs bursting instead of droplets, the ground flooded with fire instead of water, raining cats and dogs. No, chickens, coming home to roost on a farm where I too am livestock, a victim of the farmer's actions. I mean, yeah, I fed on his capitalism and lies, so yeah, I too am to blame, and I can't blame anyone who lives in this reality and not the fear. When missiles attend classes with children who only graduate to coffins, safety is an illusion we forced ourselves to believe in. Both complacent and complicit, this is our undoing. Ours, as in an oligarchy under rich men's shoes. A pawn in a game I never planned on playing. I've been known to flip the chessboard when losing, for this reality is too heavy to shake loose. People are dying, and my taxes taxied the reaper to their address. And now, I fear they might postcard their post-traumatic stress, return me to sender. Have me meet my maker, the military-industrial complex that made us both terrorists and terrified. I can't even listen to the rain in peace. And what a privilege to fear everything and still be left standing.
I was not born to be small, not carved from hush, not designed to disappear. I will not acquiesce or negotiate who I am with you. I will not barter my skin, trade soft spokenness for your comfort. I will not reshape my words to fit your blueprints. I will not shrink, smooth, hush, or squeeze into the closet of your design. I will not silence myself, not for you, not for the world, not for the ghost in the mirror who once begged to be small. I will not unbecome to make you whole, apologize for taking up air, for burning too bright, for loving too loud. I will not dim my shine, soften my blaze, or make my survival a polite antidote. I am unapologetic, unbargained, beautifully broken, and untouched by your demands. Scream on paper, write it down, that moment when the words refuse to stay inside, trapped, stifled, silenced. Scream on paper, escape the muzzle placed in us all by society, upbringing, our own inner critic. Scream on paper, let out the ghost of an over-criticized youth when we were taught, be polite, stay silent, be seen, not heard. I scream on paper because I was punished for screaming in real life, because the world rewarded girls with approval in smaller cages, because paper was meant for academics, proving intelligence, not for feelings. Now my voice travels places my body cannot. I scream on paper because the world needs to hear all the ghosts trapped in my throat.
The spirit of my mother. Today she wore no masks, just natural beauty, emanating its rays from a heart of towering love. I combed her hair lovingly, those gray strands reminding me of the silvery moon, of endurance, fortitude, of the many years of struggle. Her eyes, the seat of the soul, spoke of an empress of great resilience, concern, and self-giving amidst almost impossible odds. The glazed stain of the cataracts was still there, memories of a bitter wine called diabetes that tested the candle in her adversities, made her legs look like dark clouds reeling from the ails of neuropathy. I kissed her forehead, cheeks, and sturdy hands. They showed signs of a queen who was born to bear, to love, to pay a heavy price for loving. Her face was dignified, filled with the majesty of an empress who bore life's challenges without complaint. Yet the numerous invisible scars she carried showed in her gaze her merits waiting to be read in paradise for unstoppable and speechless acts of kindness of one who gave so much, yet asked for so little. Her palm and fingers carried marks of diligence, of sheer hard work, as did her bosom, shielding the immaculate and curvaceous mammary glands that served to offer all to her 7 wonderful children. There they lay, still dignified with age, stately as the stretch marks on her waistline, the glint of heaven which still shone in her eyes, the majestic glistening smile, her constant laughter in the face of heavy and almost unbearable odds. I hugged her lovingly, and although she did not speak, she still had the gift of being able to use her hands, placing them affectionately on my shoulders, showing me the soul in her eyes, the gift of 10,000 streams of loving. This was a woman who lived for us, like the cosmos to Mother Gaia, her golden tears like rain, nourishing our roots, her smile and service, a radiant sunshine, filling our petals and blossoms with incandescent delight. She was an adept at cooking before she turned 11, whether it was steamed down breadfruit, crab and callaloo, rice and peas, or even pigfoot trotters, she knew how to make them all. Her recipe was authentic, scrolled in her precious heart by bloodlines of ancestry, aided by the selfless sacrifice of my grandmother's heavenly talent. She shed virtues that gave Mom the ability to fill a boiling pot with goodness, a plethora of fragrances, and her soul's charming beauty. Cosmically, she was a walking goddess, charismatic, beautiful, oozing character and soulfulness. She was selfless all her life, poor in finances, yet extremely rich in the merits of heaven. She cooked with a zest and joyful passion that blended into the food we ate as siblings, a sparkler in her eyes, a gaze of loving concern for her children, like stars do to the celestial heavens. Perhaps it was the way she laughed or twirled her hips with confidence, her moonlit smile, gleefully dancing with the ingredients of crayfish and dumplings, ugali, fufu, or salsa, Grenadian style. Mom's humility permeated the ice cream can as she whipped, my stomach whispering entreaties for her to hurry a gift, for churning the sweet magic which was gorgeously celestial in taste. Delicioso. As were her pastries, coconut tarts, bread and butter puddings, a homemade ital drinks of sorrel, sauce-up juice and peanut punch, and my favorite sea moss in condensed milk. In this tropical paradise, we were not short of lime, pineapple, mango, papaya juices, nourishingly cool and keeping all her 7 children well hydrated. I looked at Mom endearingly, for the spirit of a fire was with me, in us, that the dust of her life would linger long after she was gone, still paving our diamond paths for much brighter tomorrows. Love finally took my mother home, leaving a rich legacy of selfless deeds to follow. Heaven cascaded roses, while St. Peter and his divine minstrels blew their culinary trumpets loudly, some 7 times in paradise. Je t'aime beaucoup, mon ifere, yo te quiero. Mi querida madre, mas hay que ayer, pero no tanto como mañana, na kupenda sana, mamá. Me do papa. Ay.
I scream on paper. I scream on paper because my voice once lived in the back of my throat like a locked door with no key. Ink learned how to carry what my body could not. I screamed on paper when the doctor said, "You may never walk again." When pavement kissed my bones and pain became a language my legs refused to translate. When the world said, "Walk it off," and I couldn't. So I wrote it off. Line by line, verse by verse, until the page limped with me. I screamed on paper when night became a place I didn't feel safe in my own skin. When my mother's husband stole pieces of childhood and tried to bury them under silence. My pen learned how to say what shame tried to swallow. Each poem a siren, each stanza a broken window letting truth breathe. I screamed on paper when my mother's love got lost in the smoke of her addiction. When childhood packed its bags and left me standing there holding responsibilities too heavy for small hands. I was a child that learned how to cook survival on a stove of broken promises. I was the daughter tucking my own pain into bed so someone else could sleep. And every time the world told me to be quiet, to endure, to pretend nothing was burning, my poetry caught fire. Because paper never flinched when I told the truth. Now my screams don't sound like weakness. They sound like thunder. They sound like chains hitting the floor, because when I scream on paper, I am not victim begging the world to hear me. I am a survival with lungs full of truth. I am a warrior for every little girl who swallowed her scream. I am breaking generational trauma link by link, line by line, poem by poem, and every time my pen touches paper, I scream till freedom answers.
Judge Judy doesn't care about Whitey's tears. She eats them for breakfast. Whitey's tears have caused lynchings and massacres, but Judge Judy doesn't care about Whitey's tears. She knows when cornered, all Whiteys break out into fake sympathy tears as a defense mechanism for accountability. When they start crying, she says, "Bert, give him a tissue." Her knees don't buckle with sympathy. She doesn't let her emotions drive her into a mob and burn down cities. Judge Judy doesn't care about Whitey's tears. When Whitey proceeds to lie under oath, she says, "Baloney." When Whitey wails about injustice, Judge Judy demands to see the evidence, police reports, pictures. Without such proof, she yells, "You're a fibber." She demands they look in her eye. Says it's easier to tell the truth when you don't have to remember the lie. Knows Whiteys like to cheat the system. Get over on the little guy. The only thing Judge Judy hates more than an able person with a good back collecting disability is a liar, a Ken, a Karen, a fake crier. Judge Judy doesn't care about Whitey's tears. She eats them for breakfast.
I was baptized in the swimming pool at a church picnic. I was a newbie. I didn't have a clear understanding of what it meant to be born again. I had imposter syndrome and could not justify the love that was imparted on me as a stranger walking into a church where nobody knew me. As the cold water washed over me, I emerged a new version of myself with feeling that something had changed. The people around me were either supportive or confused. What they thought of me before or after was none of my business. It was between me and my God now. My husband is getting baptized tomorrow in a church that he wandered into for coffee service. What he fully understands about it, I do not know. When I was urged to get baptized as an adult, I was told that we make the decision going in now, hopefully knowing more than we did then as infants. There are some that think babies will go to heaven no matter what because they are innocent. Original sin, the sin of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, was taken away by Jesus. Some believe that as adults being baptized, it's a necessity to state in front of witnesses that one believes this fact and that Christ died for the sins of man. That is what I thought too. Humans will always be prone to sin, indulging in the pleasures of the flesh. But we are saved as babies and as adults from original sin. Is this going to make us immune? I hope that you know it will not. I hope you know that declaring Christ as your Savior and Lord will make your path no less difficult. It will define the goals more clearly, but will not do it for you. Hard work will still be required every day to overcome the sinful nature, to lead by example, to be a witness for Christ. Evil still exists, and we have to be on our guard, wearing the full armor of God to defeat it. Take heart. We know how the story will end.
Through the darkness, I managed to find light at the tunnel's end, determined to persevere with the understanding that we only have one chance at life, that with each new day presents new opportunities as well as new challenges. And with each phase, I often encounter those who dubbed me sunshine. And because of that, I ponder my purpose, accepting that I'm chosen and not just called, since the coincidence of this moniker continues to follow me. And through maturity, I better understand that I can only control my responses. I have learned as each year passes that my reactions dictate the elements around me. And unbeknownst to me, I find that I am able to inspire those I come into contact with. This sentiment was expressed to me, and I dare say, it gave me edification when I was in need. In an earlier time, before the dissolution of my covenant, I was told that I was what kept the unit together, not unlike the sun. Its gravity holds the solar system together, keeping all planets and debris in its orbit. From what I discovered, the interactions between the sun and earth drive the seasons, ocean currents, and weather. It is a most peculiar star in its potential. It's one of a kind. It's brilliant. It's resilient. So, like Maya, it still rises. And despite an occasional eclipse, it won't be overshadowed long because inspiration dawns on the sun with each breaking of day, with the anticipated breakthrough, unwavering, in its faith.
In the spirit of RPG video games, I hadn't earned enough experience points in this elaborate game we call life to be at the level I'm at now. I was unequipped, unknowledgeable, unready, unraveled, and undone, setting the stage for an underdog story to develop under debris of broken dreams, rising from the dead with head raised, eyes beaming towards infinity, blessed with the ability to be at peace within the confines of me after being fogged up by storm clouds of doubt and uncertainty in a storm season that felt like an eternity. But holy shit, here I am now, standing on business, 10 toes down. I may be a funny guy, but I'm not clowning around when I say that I now house the perks and skill increases needed to be where I want to be. Now it's just a matter of getting there, mapping out the main quest in life. There have come times in this journey when I've been carrying too much weight, when my stamina bar constantly depleted. But I've performed inventory, made assessments, deleted the obsolete, discarded what was holding me back, made room for self-growth and healing and the magic that can be found along the way. It feels so nice to be traveling light for once in my life. At this point, I have no fear into venturing into the unknown, for it is within the unknown is where I will find what I've been looking for this entire time. This cougar of a Nintendo Entertainment System hungers for something inside her. She wants something with the right game, something that clicks, something that fits just right. The gamer, the Nintendo's longtime partner, whips out a copy of Master Blaster and fills her insides raw. The gamer pressed on the Nintendo's clitoris, the power button that you turn on, and attempts to get things rolling. First attempt failed. Time for a little foreplay. I try a little blowjob. A couple of spanks. Slide that bad boy back in. Second attempt failed. All right. Time to play a little dirty, which is ironic because we're trying to clean the son of a bitch. Time to call forth the tiny white double-sided dildos dipped in rubbing alcohol. Into the trenches you go, but just a Q-tip. Sticking it inside a cartridge, cleaning off the dust inside. This trick is a fail-safe. The third time's a charm. Master Blaster is inside her, impregnating the television screen with nostalgia.
Life has many seasons. We have many layers. We tend to stay bundled up, afraid to open up, shed some of these layers. We can't truly blossom, remove ourselves from our cocoons if we aren't willing to step out, take chances. The seasons we live through are difficult, and at times it's hard to let things go. Sometimes we need to shed, remove the dead skin from ourselves in order to see who we truly are. Embrace the new you. Let go of the past. Allow ourselves and others to grow by being ourselves. Never be afraid to let go. Shed yourself of the old. Become the you truly need to be. Holding on to the past will only hinder our growth. That's why we must shed ourselves of the dead skin, become something more. Grow, explore who we are. Let the past create our new path. Let go of the past in order to create our new path. Now, we may have threads of our old selves within us, but that's just in our DNA. of who we are at our core. I'm a poet at my core. That's just who I am, no matter what path I take. You have to figure out who you are at your core. Shed yourself of the past. This is about becoming the new you, right? Give y'all two more and then we'll call it a night because I got a show to head to after this. All right. This is called War Paint and Battle Scars. We all have war paint and battle scars. We've all been to war. We have the wounds, the scars, the bruises to prove it from what this world has made us. Our war paint is drawn as we face the world, keeping our guard up due to our past traumas. The battle scars are only visible to us for every heartbreak, to every heart we've broken, to everyone we've let down, to every disappointment. These scars still remain. We've all been casualties of war, a war called love. Love is a war we want no part of, yet we do it anyway. Our war paint is invisible to others as we mask ourselves. We mask the pain so that people can't see we're hurt. We press on, deny the help we need, and the battle scars never heal. We don't speak with a war council. We make moves and decisions that leave an impact on all of us. From wars of the heart to mending of friendships, these internal wars and conflicts are in all of us. We never leave these wars unscathed, and these battle scars are the price we pay. Ask yourself, are you ready for these wars of the heart? Normally, I like to listen to music as I write, but today I decided to turn the radio off, turn the television on. I tuned into CNN to see an end to objective news. I then switched over to Fox News, and well, their views were skewed, looking like a lost episode of The View, only to see headline news as they give gossip reviews like it was e-news. It was no better on true TV. But what will we expect when these networks are ran by some impractical jokers? Other networks were no better, thinking I was watching WWE SmackDown when I saw a man getting sidewalk slammed by the big boss man, only to realize that was a cop on a body cam slamming a black man down. These networks give me no true value as I see families feud, as the world is in jeopardy. But maybe, just maybe, the wheel of fortune will change for some of us. Growing up, we were young and reckless instead of young and restless. But these are the days of our lives. Don't get it twisted because family matters in this world as we need strong family ties. But when you step outside, it's a different world when you're Black in America. The real world doesn't care if you're Black, Hispanic, or anything other than rich or running an empire. No matter what we think, our views don't matter. Just because we tune into BET, I'm willing to bet that the format has been flipped from old syndicated Black programs and creative content like Comic View, BET News, Rap City, and 106 in Park to just another cable network with watered down programs to fit the narrative. I mean, MTV has been irrelevant since it was music television. Now it's teen moms, catfish, and ridiculousness. This is what happens when a jackass runs several networks. I tuned into CBS only to CBS. This is what happens when Paramount pay any amount to silence those in power. I go to ESPN for the win, and even it ended in a spin over paying college athletes in golf tour debates. At the end of the day, I had to walk away and get back into a room of silence because of all the chaos on television would end in violence. to the mind and the poetic vibes. This is what happens when you channel surf.